Greetings, everyone in the sci-fiction awesomeness. My name is Owen Cotter, and you're watching SciFiction on Twitch, on YouTube, on X, Facebook, and beyond. Today, we're going to have an amazing guest joining us here shortly in about 15 minutes, roughly. His name is Michael Havens. He is the founder of the ICCC, the Imperial Commissary Collectors Conventions, coming up October 3rd to the 6th. We'll be talking with him about that as well. So join us and stay tuned. Hope everybody's having a beautiful day. It's coming up on a beautiful week and hopefully for everybody as well. So basically, we're going to be talking about today is three. Well, first off, we've got some news items on the grid. We will be leaving here shortly to go up to ICCC up in Nashville. Before that, we've got a special filming charity event thing you're going to be seeing. It's going to be totally awesome. So stay tuned for that. Might see some wild stuff coming up before ICC on that. Then we go to ICCC up in Nashville, the Imperial Commissary Collectors Convention in the beautiful Sheraton Music City Hotel for the 3rd to the 6th of October. After that, we'll be coming back down, possibly doing some more filming. Then we'll be kicking it to, there's something in November, maybe video game we're going to do, another sci-fi project. And eventually towards the end of the month of December, maybe do one other thing. We're still waiting to hear back on that. Then January, possibly Fan Expo New Orleans. And February will be February something big. If that pans out, which it's looking really good, that'll be something big. Can't talk about it, lip sealed. February is going to be awesome, man. So my assistant's down here in the hallway. She was just like, yes, it's genius. Mars, if you have not met Mars or seen Mars, you'll see her pop in a lot of times. She co-hosts as well with us. So stay tuned. Follow her channel. She's also on the internet, Marlene Garza on the internet. Just go on Facebook, you'll find her. We're here joining here in a second. We'll have Michael Havens, the founder of ICCC, on here shortly. Just got back a few weeks back in late July, and we crested into STLV 58-year mission in Las Vegas. We were at Comic-Con before that. Have a lot of content coming up from the Comic-Con still. We have collected 100 and something plus on cameras, with just tons of red carpet and lineups and press junkets and press roundtables and personal interviews one-on-one with buddies and friends and anybody and everybody. So stay tuned for that. We are going to try and bring on later this month, I think in a week, some very, very big guests from some shows on sci-fi, and that's all we're going to list on that. Who else? There's a few voice actors we're talking. We just had Jason Charles Miller on. Absolute pleasure talking with him. Super cool guy, music, geek all around. I had a blast talking to him. Check that interview out. That's the one before this one. It'll also be on our Spreaker as well as this one. And there's one more we're going to be uploading for our Man in LA. It's an amazing independent science fiction film. We had the whole cast and the director and everybody on with that as well. So there's all that. Let's talk about ICCC here for a second. There's their website, IC Nashville, I believe it's called, IC Collectors Convention, .com. This amazing event that's heavily focused on collecting, but has a heavy backbone and everything. Star Wars, lots of the fan clubs and various actors from your favorite franchise will be there. They usually have our good friends of the Battlestar Galactica fan club and Battlestar Raven will be there. Aliens, big thing now. They got Aliens Romulus out this past month. And they're going to be the fan club for that. A lot of the other clubs, such as the Kentucky, I believe, collector group. There's Guy Gilchrist, super awesome guy. I've had him on the show a few times. And heavy backbone, too, and the old Kenner developers from who did the original Kenner Star Wars toy line. A lot of the creators and people involved in designing those awesome collectibles will be there as well. Some of their headliners, of course, I'll let Michael to get more into what they're going to be doing, will be, of course, you see Lando Calrissian, Billy D. Williams himself. We've had his son on Corey on a few times. Super nice guy. I love talking with him. And Warwick Davis, who, of course, you know he is. He's Wicket the Ewok, played also in Hitchhiker's Guide. Pretty much everything from Harry Potter, Willow, Star Wars, you name it. He's not just Wicket. He's also several other characters in the Star Wars franchise. He kind of pops up all over the place. Episode 1, the new movies, you name it. And a lot of the other backbone of the voice acting of the Star Wars, the Clone Wars, and Rebels, and everything and beyond. So stay tuned. Bringing on Michael Havens here shortly, and he'll give you the full download. He's the wealth of knowledge on this awesome event. They have a little bit of everything. Let's go down their guest star list real quick. These are the various breakdowns of some of the guests they're going to have, their bios. Lots of guests. Even that Wedge in. He's going to be there. Admiral. That's Yeah, it's him. Yeah, Rebel Alliance leader, General Nadine, rather, not Admiral, General. And then you've got, yeah, these are all the people that worked with Kenner and Hasbro back in the day. Timothy Zahn, always a pleasure talking with him. Curious to see his thoughts on what he thought about the live action version of Grand Admiral Thrawn. That'd be pretty cool. Mark Thompson, amazing. Oh, there's Dennis Lawson, Legend Tilly's. Angus, he's going to be there. I think Charles Bartlett's going to be there as well. Yes, right here, Charles Bartlett. We got a really great interview with him about last year. Super nice guy. Told him if he's ever wants to come out to some of the projects, might meet up in LA with him sometime here in the future. So stay tuned, Charles. Chris will be down there talking to you shortly. Guy will be Tim Rose. Oh man, that's awesome. Pretty much everybody affiliated with the Star Wars franchise, old and new, as well as a whole bunch of other goodies, will be there at the ICC. There's 12 days, 17 hours, 7 minutes, and 57 seconds in counting till the event. If you're in Nashville, Tennessee, or the surrounding areas around the time of this event, October 3rd through the 6th, please join everyone at the Sheridan Music City Hall. Relatively inexpensive event. They have general admission tickets. I'll let Mike talk more about that. But it's, if you're there, just can do one day. I only can go maybe Friday or maybe just Saturday. If you're a family, bring your kids. It'll be awesome. It's a very family-friendly oriented event. They've got a beautiful vendors hall with tons of amazing collectibles. I'm talking like relatively inexpensive up to really expensive. It's different levels of various products. Replicas, of props. They've also got high-end Star Wars toys and not just Star Wars, a little bit of everything. Star Trek. I found some Thundercats there last year. I was there. I'll see what else we got. G.I. Joe. Actually, one of the guys there worked on designing the original Kenner Hasbro G.I. Joes from back in the 80s. He'll be there. It's just going to be an absolute blast of a time, weekend of fun and beyond. Starts on Thursday, October the 3rd. Ends on October the 6th on Sunday, I believe like 5 p.m. is the end of the event. I believe, I'll let Mike clarify that, on Sunday. This is 4 days of absolute fun. Last time we were down there at the Sheridan Music City, and I love that venue. They had another venue, which I think was somewhere else outside, like a big RV park. But I really like the Sheridan Music City Hotel, and I'll tell you why. It's a beautiful hotel. The staff are just absolutely quality. They treat you like gold. It's very built, in my opinion, for an event like this, because not only do you have like the vendors hall and the spaces for holding like panels and cosplay contests, but you also have the big back grotto like patio area where they can have a band, they jam out rock and roll. I think the con men are going to be there, which was one of the actors from Daredevil. He's one of the main guys on that. There's another band or two, and they jam out. It's absolutely a pleasure. It's so fun. So it's like, so you get to hang out at the Comic-Con. You get all the coolest collectibles, and in the hall. And by the way, after the event breaks down on days, if you go downstairs, everybody's just trading. You can find out anything you want. You say, "Yeah, I got a last 17 R2D2 with telescoping lightsaber. What do you need? I need this figurine," and they'll swap and trade and barter and buy. It's like a swap meet of galactic proportions. The ultimate collector's expo, especially focused towards sci-fi and Star Wars, is absolutely amazing. We'll be bringing on Mike here within about the next 5-6 minutes. Hope everybody's having a good weekend. We're talking about IC Collectors Convention in beautiful Nashville, Tennessee on October the 3rd to the 6th at the Sheridan Music City Hotel. If you're in the area, please join us. We'll be down there all weekend covering the event. On the first day, I'm letting fans know we're going to be driving from Georgia up to Nashville. So we may be checking in the hotel at 2 or 3, so maybe an hour or so late, just depends. We're doing a very hush-hush right now until the word's out on the marketing and promotion on it. A very, very prestigious philanthropic event for a very great cause. It deals with the veterans and a lot of other topics, especially stuff veterans that have PTSD and just veterans in general. A lot of stuff going on there. It's a lot of heavy, heavy stuff, heavy PR about to be launched on that. So look forward to some big charity thing in Georgia nobody knows about yet, but they're about to. And then we're going to kick it up to IC Collectors Convention in beautiful Nashville, Tennessee. I'm going to bring this down here and get back to the main channel here. Thank you for your service, by the way, Mars says, my assistant co-host and beautiful awesomeness. Yes, indeed. Thank you for your service. Got the Baby Yoda shirt rocking that today as we're going to be talking Star Wars as well. My name is Owen C. Cotter. If you're watching, this is SciFiction.com's main channel on Facebook. We're also on Twitch. We're also on YouTube. YouTube is at SciFiction Official, all together, no spaces, no dashes. And on X, which was formerly of Twitter, as we know. So, by the way, We will be coming to you soon from not only Nashville, we may be doing some other filming projects in between. So there may be people popping up in this feed you never expected to see. Big names, production people, actors, some very, very, very well known people could potentially be joining us in these live streams coming up soon, as well as people that there's going to be some guests. I wanted to let the fans notice, by the way, there's going to be some guests popping in that they may not be exactly tuned to sci-fi, but you'll be like, whoa, but a lot of them love sci-fi. So we're definitely going to mention that. So there's going to be guests in there that are huge Star Wars and Star Trek fans, huge sci-fi fanatics. These people that we're going to bring on are well known in their own right, in their own field, very well known. And some of them are not only huge sci-fi fans, but really appreciate what we do. And we're very grateful and thankful for that. So stay tuned on that. And I was waiting for Mike to join us here. Really looking forward to talk with him. He always holds an amazing event, and you could definitely tell he's very passionate about holding a quality event for the fans, by the fans, for the fans, no corporations. I mean, when you get into like the corporate level, it's cool, don't get me wrong. But when it gets so corporatized, in my opinion, and many others of my colleagues, like we're not a corporately owned media company. We're independently owned. I'm the founder and president and head guy. I've got a whole team of people we work with, but we've been to talk like once you really get corporatized, then it's about, of course, the dollars. And if you get into the dollars, but we do need funding. So always open to having extra sponsorship opportunities. And we reach tens of millions a year through social media and the web platform and everything and beyond. Our social channels. So if you are interested in sponsoring us or working with us or doing an advertising run for your event 6 months, 13 months, or 12 months out, please feel free to contact us and get in touch with my assistant or one of our people, and they will get back to you quick. If you ever want to message us, it's pretty simple. Whoop, popped out there, push the wrong button. If you ever want to message us, here's how you message us. If you want to send a direct email to the site, you just go here to the contact tab on the bottom of the tab system here. You click your first name, you type in your last name, you put your email address. Make sure you have that so we can email you back. Put whatever subject you want, and then type your message and click this, and it'll send it straight to the bridge. But you don't have to open all hailing frequencies on all channels. Just fill out the form to establish a secure comm system with a link to the bridge. I know it's funny. We put that on there. So that is how you basically contact the site. And you can also contact us on Facebook at SciFiction of COM, which is just type in the word SciFiction in the Facebook search bar, and it'll pop right up with the gold and the blue letters with the comet and the horizon and going to space. So that'll pop right up in your browser, and you'll find that. Best to message us on Facebook or the site. All the other channels are just buried. TikTok is, we get tons of messages on there as well, but Facebook usually pops right up because we're pretty good. We heavily maintain all channels. The main channels we have our biggest following on is Facebook, Tumblr massive. We have a recommended featured in trending, one of the biggest blogs on Tumblr, and TikTok, yeah. Facebook, TikTok, Tumblr, and also Twitter, X, and Twitch. We're working on that too. In the platform, a lot of people on the platform join us as well. For people just joining us, my name is Owen C. Cotter, and you are watching SciFiction on all channels: Twitter, X, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, and beyond. We're simulcasting on all channels right now. If you have any questions that you'd like to ask Michael when he joins us, feel free to chime in on the chat. If you're on Facebook, make a comment. It'll show up, or YouTube on the live, make a comment, anything and everything. I believe we have Michael on the horn here, so let me bring him on. Michael, can you hear me?
What's up, Owen? I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I sure can hear you. We're pumping you and talking about the event and all kind of sci-fi goodies. How's your day going, man?
Oh, it's great, brother. Great. You know, as it gets closer to the show, you don't have time to think. You just have time to do stuff. So
for sure, man.
I'm very excited, man. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
No problem. No problem. You've got the event for everybody joining. This is Michael Havens. He's the founder of the ICCC, the man, the myth, the legend. When is the event? What we got going on with the event?
It's going to be October 3rd through 6th at the Music City Sheridan in downtown Nashville, Tennessee, 777 McGavick Pike, if you're looking for the
address. Can't beat that address.
Like I know, right? It's easy for me to even remember. Right. And we've been planning it for the past year. We've been doing it since 2018, and we have a heck of a show this year, man. It's bonkers.
Nice.
So I'm excited.
What are some of the headlines? What kind of activities and things you've got going on at the event this year?
Lots of movie stars. We have laser tag. We have tattoos. We have contests. We have video game contests. We have photo ops, autographs. Billy D. Williams is going to be there. Warwick Davis, whole bunch of other people, Angus McGinnis, bunch of X-Wing pilots. You know me, and I'm a big Star Wars guy. So it is Star Wars heavy. Everybody always accuses me of being a Star Wars convention. I say,
well, they need Star Wars. It was the only other Star Wars heavy event, or even with a lot of Star Wars, a celebration. That's out of the country this year in Japan.
Well, yeah, the biggest problem with them, man, is they went to England last year. They took 4 years off during COVID, and they went out to Japan next year. So the earliest celebration is going to be in 2027. So if you're a Star Wars fan in America and you don't have the extra 15 grand to throw away on a trip to Tokyo, come on down to Nashville. It's like a 2-hour flight from everywhere.
Definitely check it out. It's in Nashville, Tennessee, at the Sheraton Music City Hotel. I love that hotel, by the way. It's absolutely gorgeous.
Beautiful, right? Well, you know what I love about it so much? Like last year, man, you saw we went to these giant fairgrounds, and it was like 265 acres, and it was insane. Just to like bring change to the different places, different areas, it would be like a 3-minute golf cart ride. But it allowed us to have a helicopter, which was cool. It allowed us to have a full-size demolition derby, which was cool. We always like to do weird stuff at the con, It's not just a regular Comic-Con. It's definitely more of like
fun for everybody out there.
Yeah, it's more of like I always say it's like a sleepover for 40-year-olds, Awesome. I say 40-year-olds, 50-year-olds, I guess. Gee whiz, I'm getting older.
I just turned 40 this year, so I kind of.
Ah, you're a young buck, man.
So the event's heavily we focused on collecting. What kind of things can fans find there? I know it's not as much comic books; it's more like collecting. What kind of collectibles can you find?
Absolutely. We do have some comic books, but it's definitely not our focus. Most Comic-Cons are Comic-Cons. Right. What all this nonsense stands for is the Imperial Commissary Collectors Convention. So this all started from the Imperial Commissary Facebook groups, which account for more buying, selling, and trading of authentic vintage Star Wars toys than even eBay now.
Yeah.
So what happened is, I'd say probably 10 years ago now, I started the Facebook group. And then about a year into that, we started being like, hey, let's do a meetup. So we did our very first meetup. It was up in Lexington, Kentucky. And we had 15 people. There was somebody on the IC that had a little tiny comic book shop, and he said you could have it here for free. We had Little Caesars Pizza. Nice. And we watched the Revenge of the Jedi trailer. The Revenge of the Jedi.
The one before they changed the name to Return.
Yeah, nice. the official one on one of those old school, the projectors when we were little kids, they go tick, 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 and have no sound. And that's what we watched it on. And the guy who took all the pictures for the boxes, Kim Simmons, like these kind of pictures and stuff.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
He did the designs and the artwork.
Didn't he do the Empire Strikes Back layout with the AdX and all that?
Absolutely. That's his picture. He actually did most of the pictures for the vintage Star Wars line all the way up through Hasbro he worked for.
Even when they changed from Kinder to Hasbro.
Right. So if you think of any of the card backs or any of the fronts or any of the box art or anything like that, for pretty much all of Star Wars was Kim Simmons.
That's gorgeous.
So he showed up out of the blue because he happened to be local and he happened to be on my Facebook group. So that brought the story. You know what I mean? It brought, oh my gosh, the Kenner designer that took all the pictures happened to be there for a free meetup with 15 people and pizza. You know what I mean?
Legendary right there.
Yeah, totally. So it grew into next time it was 45 people, and next time it was 100 people, and next time it was 300 people, and next time we threw 15 of those meetups, and by the 15th it was at Celebration in Chicago, 2017, 16.
17, I was there for that one.
17, yeah. Did you go to the meetup?
I did not. I was there covering like 10 hours on the floor. Did you see the video we put together from that?
I did, dude. It was a lot of work, man.
So that's video.
You guys carry around those big, heavy cameras.
We had 3 of those rigs at that one. So that video, we posted on Facebook. It got so many shares that it was like being used in costumes groups to see this costume. It was like viral out of the wazoo. And then like about 3 months into the video getting, I think it got, it was and got thousands and thousands of comments. Facebook flagged it, but it got for like spam. I guess they thought it was getting too much traffic, algorithm or
too many people were sharing it. Right?
Yeah. So then I was actually at an airport in Dallas, Michael. I was sitting there waiting to get on the plane, and me and this couple were talking about Star Wars. And I said, "Yeah, did you see that?" And said, "Oh, we saw that video. We love that video, and that's a great video. It's one of the best ones. Everybody knows that video." I'm like, really? And they said, "You mean the video with George Lucas going in the front and the force push?" And yes. And he's like, "I didn't realize how viral that video went, man."
Oh yeah.
And it's even on our YouTube channel. We don't have a massive following YouTube. Our big following's on Facebook, around 250,000, but it has like 70,000 views. I mean, just
That's
on YouTube.
awesome, man.
It's crazy.
I hit one on TikTok where
oh yeah,
I had the Emperor Ian McDermott.
Mhm.
And, we became cool, and then he told people it was he was like, well, the Emperor's chair in Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
And he's up on stage at ICCC, and they even spelled the name right. They were like the Imperial Commissary Collectors Convention where it was shared. I was so psyched because
awesome.
It's so hard for people to get.
What was the views on that? It had to have been millions or something like that.
It was insane, man. I had 1.2 on my TikTok.
Nice.
And it was just it was Ian McDermott, and he was talking about when he was the Emperor, and the chair at the end of Return of the Jedi had this big mechanism to turn it and everything, but it broke.
Oh, whoa.
So, yeah, it didn't work. So secretly in Return of the Jedi, whenever the Emperor is spinning around, his little feet are going under the chair like this, scooting him. So he told that story. That thing took off, and I got lucky with another one with him. We became friends because of the convention, and he invited me when I was out at Celebration in Anaheim. He invited me to the Galaxy's Edge nighttime Star Wars thing.
That was awesome, man.
Dude, it was so cool, man.
I had yet to go. We've been wanting to go so bad. I have a buddy. He's a Saber customization. He's really pretty well known. He knows all the top Saber people in the community. Nice. Shout out to Benji Graham of Nerf Herders Customs. You may have heard of that one.
Yeah, for sure.
Benji's awesome. But he's actually going to the Star Wars Galaxy's Edge for his annual meetup, and he'll be out there, I believe, this coming weekend. So if you're down there and you see Benji rocking and rolling, say hi to him.
Sure enough, that's cool, man. No, so the Ian invited me, and it was we had these badges, and they were like triangles and made of metal and like holograms, because it was like for the movie star kind of deal, And we're getting walked around by the Disney guy in the vest that lets you get past everything, and awesome. He leaves us to go get the passes for us to get on Rise of the Resistance. So I'm standing there. It's me, my tiny wife. You've met my wife,
right?
And Ian McDermott in Galaxy's Edge on Star Wars. So what happens is one person turns around and there's a flash, and then 3 people, and then 15 people.
People are going crazy with that.
There were like 500 people taking pictures and inching closer, and I'm literally the only person between the Emperor and all the people. That's awesome. I'm like, listen, folks, please, give us some room.
Did you ride the ride with him? Did you ride the ride? Did you ride that ride with him? The big one?
Dude, totally. Literally right here was Ian McDermott during Rise of the Resistance.
How is that ride? How is it? Like what?
It's I know Lucas. Awesome, bro. Dude, because the thing is all right, being a Star Wars fan from forever like we are, you always imagine it in your head, but to see the physical, everything about that is life size. You know what I mean? So the stormtroopers, the officers, the ships you get into and out of, the AT-ATs you go under, it's all life size. So
X-Wings too in there, right?
Yeah, everything. So it's just amazing because it puts you into that Star Wars galaxy and you're so immersed in it. And as we were driving through it, we're going onto the AT-ATs, and he literally turns to me and he goes, I never thought this would become so big. And I'm like, this is the coolest day of my life, but I'm trying to keep it together.
It's a whole massive land down there. Supposedly there's
insane,
its own world.
But the other TikTok I went viral for is we went to Olga's Cantina, right?
Mm-hmm.
And as we're walking, pardon me, as we're walking out the back door of the cantina, he turns around to everybody in the cantina and does one of these.
Oh, wow.
People went crazy. That went nuts, and you could see my big giant body right next to him. You know what I mean?
So they got footage, and that was on the internet, on TikTok as well?
It went like literally everywhere, man. It was on everything.
I think I have seen that video because
where he just spins around and does this. Look for the giant dude. That's me.
It's amazing. Like social media these days, I was having a conversation with one of our web development guys. He was saying it's so viral now that if something even gets mild, because you got like TikTok, for instance, or Facebook for that matter, the algorithm's always up and down. But I found out if you post something that people really want to see, and even if it's shared by a few pages, if they're bigger, and if you have a decent following, I mean, it's just crazy. And I found out a little trick with that for entrepreneurial creators. If you're watching, yeah, exactly. Reshare it, cross promote it. But one of the other things is if you have a good J curve of traffic already that month, and you share it, and then you start doing more live streams, all your live streams will get even more traffic. Wow. So like, for instance, our author buddy, he's a brilliant author. He not Star Wars, but he does a Star Trek book. It's called All I Know About Success I Learned from Star Trek. Glenn Henderson wrote that, my buddy. Nice. We did an interview with him. We would share it in the story occasionally each week, and then we get more and more traffic. And just that one video, which wasn't like with an A-list actor, but he's a super cool guy, got 23,000 views just on Facebook alone.
Incredible.
And Facebook is an amazing platform, of course, YouTube and what they call X, not Twitter, all that. But the social media aspect, so like when you say you share something like that, all the fans loved it. That just shows you how many fans are passionate about not only Star Wars, but sci-fi and everything in general.
Oh yeah, absolutely, man. The sharing and the viral, I haven't put my finger on exactly what does it, but it is amazing when it happens.
I used to run web platforms like reached $1 billion a year, so I know exactly how it is.
Dude, I don't even know how you do it, man. But no, with Facebook and stuff, I love Facebook. It's been great.
Well, that's got all your groups on there too. So
it does. I have 27 Facebook groups about collecting toys. But that is, as you said before, the convention is very different because it is a collector's convention. Even, for example, our vendor tables, I keep them inexpensive.
Right.
So that way we get more than the amount of vendors we need.
Are there any of those left, by the way? Are any of those?
Oh, no, they were sold out like 6 months ago, man. No, it's really good. We're tearing it up.
Really good. But I have to join you there next year on the vendors table. We actually partnered with some collectible sci-fi companies we're working with.
Oh, do it, brother. Yeah, no, that's where the people are that, really do the collectibles.
I've got a lot of vintage stuff too.
Yeah, there you go. But they come in from all over the world for that, man. So that's why we've really become the collectors convention, because with me keeping the prices low and then having final authority on the okay or no for every booth.
Right.
Once we have one pop booth, that's enough. Once we have one or two comic booths, that's enough. So I try to stick it to people that sell really, really rare stuff.
Right.
So if you show up to this convention, you're not only going to see all these different toys that you've always wanted, but you're also going to see stuff you never see. Like, for example, that rocket firing Boba Fett that sold for $1 million.
That's like that's like $1 million.
We had 5 of those on site, and that one in particular was on
Which
site.
year was that? The year? Which year was
2019,
that? 2019, I think. Yes.
Yep.
It's crazy. It was that one I went down. You'd had it before y'all moved to the resort to the Sheraton Music City. I think there was 2 or 3 on premises that year. You had 5.
Yeah, there was. Well, that's the thing, and there were 2 more because you know how it happens in the hotels and the rooms after.
Yeah. It's like, tell them about after the event, everybody downstairs in the lobby. It's like swap meet galore. It's awesome.
Yeah, well, that really speaks to us not being a corporate convention, because it's a terrible business decision, but it makes for such a special.
Oh, it's great.
Thanks, man. But we don't stop anybody from doing it. So right about, I think it's 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock at night, everybody comes down from their hotel rooms and they set up tables and displays and everything, and they buy, sell, and trade really rare toys. Yeah. And then they've started. It's even grown into more. Man, it's crazy. They put a piece of paper up in the elevator, and they all write their rooms on it. And all these rooms are full of toys. Wow. So a lot of people that come to this show, which I think is phenomenal, end up leaving with more money than they came and enjoying the show all weekend.
And they get all the cool collectibles. You've got rare stuff you can't find like anywhere else. As you go like to most of these events, I mean, no pun, I love Funko Pops. I got a ton, but there's no vintage stuff at all.
Yep. That's because vintage stuff, it really, every time you move it, you're taking a chance of losing $20,000. Yeah. You know what I mean? Every time, because those bubbles are fragile, everything's fragile. But these people know that and I'm not saying that every collector isn't a major collector, but there's some guys, not even me, that'll drop that $1.5 million on a Boba Fett. I would love to. Like good like
auctions, like Christie's and Julian. I've seen all the prop stores.
Exactly.
Man, those guys are great. Yep.
Well, see, even the props and stuff, we have props come out and stuff, and you'll see some crazy things at night or at the room sales or also at the vendor tables.
They have props too. Oh, wow.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. When you go to one of our vendor tables and you start looking at their better items and you start, taking interest in something that's $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 and be like, do you have anything else? And every once in a while, something comes out from behind the table that's like, well, this is worth $1.5 million if you're interested. Wow. But yeah, no, it's crazy, man. And I think unintentionally, the reason why it's happened is because we have all these collectors and sellers come from all over the world. Yeah. So whenever we're in a building together, it's like a show and tell, and we all want to show off a little bit.
That's awesome.
So it's like, crazy things come out, man, and all of a sudden I remember one year there was a guy that was walking around and we do swag, which is
great swag too, by the way.
Thanks, brother. But a bunch of different people, they make patches or pins or whatever, and they go around and they hand them out to other people attending the show. It's free, and people trade them and stuff like that and collect them. We had one guy that was handing out swag. Even our swag is crazy. We had one guy that was handing out swag, and it was literally pieces of the Goonies house.
Wait, what? I love that movie. That's awesome.
Like, literal straight up props to the Goonies house, because he was driving by about 6 months before. I think it was 2 years ago that he was handing them out. And he was driving by where the house is up in Oregon or whatever. In Oregon somewhere, And they were ripping out the front porch and redoing it. So he was like, "Can I have a bunch of your throwaway wood?" And they're like, "Yes, crazy person, feel free." But still, you're getting authentic movie props.
That's
for
crazy
free.
cool.
Dudes
the Goondocks of the house.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
We had one guy, and it was a really cool one, man. And it was sand from when he went to where the Sail Barge film was shot.
Oh, that's in Buttercup Valley,
Arizona, right?
Out there,
yeah. And pardon me.
Very good.
So it was official Return of the Jedi dirt. You know what I mean? And little things like that, little ideas like that, and all the fun activities. And also, I was just able to lock in food trucks, which, if you know, for a 4-star hotel is practically impossible.
Impossible for sure.
But it's happening. So it's really, really exciting, and everybody really hangs out. It's not till 5 p.m.
Right.
There's live music after that. I leave at 5 p.m.
That's right. There is who's going to be playing there this year? I know they have a few bands. I didn't get to check them out.
You know what? I don't have the list in front of me, but I think there's something like 15 different bands that are playing throughout the weekend.
Is it on the website?
It might be on. Yeah, if you go to news.
Here.
It will eventually be under schedules and activities, but I'm still building
tons of stuff in here. Wow.
And if you go to the master schedule, that second one with the ICCC logo.
See master schedule.
Here. Down. Yep.
There you go.
Now go down one more. That's just Thursday. It's a short day for VIPs only.
All right,
but if you look, all the pink ones are live music.
Oh wow.
So if you go down to the next one, there's a whole ton on Saturday. Saturday is crazy. Yep. Live music starts.
Live music. Glenn from Hyatt Venture, Conman. Isn't that Stephen Constantino and the gentleman from Daredevil's in that one? Right?
Yeah. Well, it's actually weird. It's whomever. It's our house band, Mize in the Drive. What they do is they invite any guest stars that want to play. So you never know the guest stars that are going to play or if they are. But yeah, they hop up there, they grab an axe, and they really go crazy for like a few hours. And you get to see some movie stars playing with our house band. That's what it does, is it brings more of this community feel than anywhere else. And the reason why is because we don't stifle it. If you want to do something fun, you reach out to me and you tell me. For example, we have on Friday night, we have Bunta Eve, which only happens at Celebration.
I've heard of
it. Have you heard of it? They bring in a couple movie stars and they do karaoke. And so
I love karaoke. I love karaoke, man.
You do karaoke with other movie stars that aren't even on my actor list.
And when is that?
It's Friday night. I think it starts at 8. You got to look at the master schedule. I don't know.
Check it out.
But it starts at 8. Plus, you could get all that stuff on the app. You can go App Store or the other.
That's right. You have an application. Talk a little about that. Where do you find it?
It's ICCCon. It'll send you push notifications during the show. It has pretty much all the information on the website, or it has more information than the website because it's constantly updated. I update the website, but I have a really good app guy, Jason Knox, that does that. So it's updated more often than I can do. But the app is great. It's way better than we deserve, and I definitely highly suggest downloading. Completely free. Just search ICCCON. So ICCCon on your app store or your Android, and you get it. You download it there, and it'll have all the information. And that way, if blah 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 is starting at 3 p.m., it'll send you a push notification.
Oh, so it'll notify, buzz your phone. That's awesome.
Right. So at 2:55, you go, I got to get over to the main stage, or I got to go there. And so we have all that stuff, which allows it to have more events going on, so you can choose what you want to do.
Right.
And
you can't be there everywhere at once unless you're like Michael Keaton from Multiplicities.
Exactly. Great movie, man. Way to pull out a classic.
You see Beetlejuice?
Of course. I thought it was all right.
The first one's like more nostalgic, It's just
but the first one's also a Beetlejuice, It's like you got
more Beetlejuice featured in it. I think he's only in the new one for like 17, 18 minutes.
Yeah, it's short, but for Michael Keaton, that's a long time. Yeah. Mostly the movies he does now, he like walks by the screen and it's like a Michael Keaton movie, So,
I was just thinking, who'd be a great, I don't know about this year if he's able to, but next year for sure, Greg Grunberg, our buddy, has his band, the Action Figures.
Nice,
He's
dude. He's a nice
cool
guy.
Yeah, he's super cool. I can contact you anytime you want. Greg, if you're out there, I know you watch here. Check us out. We'll hope to see you sometime, maybe this year, or next year. We run into him.
Brother, give me a buzz. I'll leave you a free ticket at the front door. You can come hang out and rock out with us.
See us, Greg.
But after the show is over, we don't stop people from having fun. For example, Saturday night. Now, we are a totally family-friendly con. It is PG from the top to the bottom. But at 10 or 11 p.m. on Saturday, there's the aerial skywalkers. And during the day, during the convention, they're
what
like...
is that?
They're like, you ever see like Ka or where they like hang from the rope? Yeah. The like flying acrobatics or whatever. And they're called the aerial skywalkers. And during the day, they are our ICCC circus. And you go out there and they fly around on these things and they do crazy stuff. But on Saturday night, we give them the space and we're already gone. And they throw a burlesque show, Star Wars burlesque show.
Star Wars theme? Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's 18 plus. It has nothing to do with me, but we don't stifle the community like that. So if they want to do it, that's totally awesome. And it brings a whole nother extra activity or something. Right. So every single night, all day, there's activities and it's in this one space. So it's really not the convention that most people, I mean, even though the convention is wonderful and everybody loves a convention and go meet the movie stars.
We love conventions.
But I'm telling you, man, afterwards, if you're sitting down at the bar with like, I don't know, I remember, sitting down at the bar and listening to some music from movie stars or maybe buying a X-Wing pilot a beer or it's really crazy, man, because since it's all in that spot and since it's all community based, originally, like, I mean, tons of people come from local that have no idea what
all the world is. From everywhere, even the actors.
The ones from everywhere usually tend to come because they're aware of what the IC is. Right. Like local people have no idea there's a Facebook group. You know?
Really?
And,
wow.
Oh yeah, totally. It's crazy. And they walk in and they're like, "What's this? What's this? What's the IC?" And it allows us to really throw 4 days of programming.
That's what I love about it, because most events are only like maybe Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or just Saturday, Sunday. This is a 4-day.
Well, even when they are Friday, Saturday, Sunday, it's usually all right. It's 6 o'clock. It's closed. Go do your own thing.
Everybody out, back to their hotel or whatever.
This is like, man, it doesn't stop. Like you'll see me at the room sale or walking past, and it'll be like I'll have a bag of Taco Bell, and it'll be getting cold as I'm trying to make it to the elevator, just go to my room and go to sleep because I'm dead. But everybody else just, man, they all night long, all morning. And then I'm out there doing the news at like 4 a.m. and there's like people doing like power walks. And I'm like, that's crazy. You know what I mean? Yeah. But it's very special the way it's turned out. And I think, honestly, the reason why is because we do not have the corporate thing that's like, you did not pay $1,000 for this. You can't do it. You know what I mean? I don't care. As long as it's you know, a fun event and people will like it, I don't mind. So that's why we do get programming every single night. And it's a 24/7 convention for 4 days.
Well, that's absolutely amazing. I can't wait to join y'all with the awesome fun time that's going to be had there. I have a few questions coming in, and one of my personal questions for myself is, first off, we'll start with the collecting questions. I know you have a massive collection. You're one of the bigger collectors on the grid on the awesomeness. If you had to get rid of your entire collection, what's one piece that you have to absolutely keep in your collection?
I'll tell you, it's the stupidest piece ever, but it's a original B-Wing pilot on a Power of the Force card. I bought it when I was a little kid, and it was the first one I ever saw that had the gold coin on it.
Oh, the little coin, yeah.
Yeah, back in the day, we didn't have the internet, so you didn't know what existed unless it showed up in your local store.
Right.
So I saw this one with the coin. I bought it. I was like, I'm going to keep that. I keep it safe and keep it protected. It's going to be my retirement someday, you know? Nice. And I saved it. And I finally got it back. And then I sent it off to grading. It came back at a 50 grade, which is awful. But I thought it was beautiful at the time.
It's cool.
And so it's totally worthless. I'd say it's worth about $100, and the grading costs $59. So, right. But I absolutely love it. And the reason why I love it, it very much had that, you know, a lotto ticket. You don't have a lotto ticket to win the lotto. Right. You have the lotto ticket for the time between when you buy it and when you lose, that feeling that you get.
Right.
Of
Like
what am I going to do if I make $1 billion?
Right.
You know, like, so that's exactly what that figure did for me. And even though I have so many expensive pieces and rare pieces and stuff like that, that's definitely the one that connects to me the most.
I love that. That's awesome.
So there you go. A crappy B-wing pilot.
Can't beat that. One of my first was probably, well, I have several pieces. When I was a little kid, it's not really Star Wars, but I had some G.I. Joes that my dad bought me. And then the other ones, I've got those in a little bag or a little box rather. And the other ones I have, I distinctly remember buying these when I was a very little kid. They had Star Trek The Next Generation came out in 87. And then a company called Galoob released these little tiny, like 3¼ inch figures, and they come with like tricorder necklaces. Yeah. And my father at a KB Toys, I believe it was, bought me Riker and Worf.
Nice.
And I have those still to this day. I don't know if the packages, they're long gone, but yeah, those are like some of the early. And my first Star Wars. Oh, this is hilarious. So there's a kid in my middle school class. He went to high school with me, and he didn't really. His parents never really sent him a lot of milk money to buy any sandwiches or drinks or anything or milk at school. So he's like, his brother had left him his vintage Star Wars collection, and he didn't really have a lot of, I guess, resources. So he's like, hey, Owen, if you give me like $2 or $3, can I give you this Imperial officer or a stormtrooper or what? Yeah, we can work that deal.
Yeah,
so at that time, and I was starting to try and build my original 70-something figures, and then later on I got to the 17. Still need 3 of those. But I was really like, that was kind of my gateway into vintage Star Wars collecting, which that's kind of a unique way if you think about it. I thought it was really
cool. For sure. Well, for a G.I. Joe guy, even though we're always a Star Wars convention, we also have other things. So G.I. Joe guy, yes, we do have the rare G.I. Joes that get sold. We also have Ron Rudat on site.
Oh, yeah, he designed some of that.
He actually designed pretty much every 3 3/4 G.I. Joe up to like 1994, I think, or something like that.
I have a question. Is Tom Osborne going to be there this year?
Yes, he is. Yes. We got a bunch of Kenner designers. So the original people that made the vehicles or the play sets. So we have him. We have Kim Simmons, who took the pictures. We have Jim Swearingen that essentially brought us the entire Star Wars line.
He's like the legend, the big time.
Yeah, like without him, there would be no Star Wars toys. And Freddie Thoman, who did tons of stuff, including Star Wars, but he did Strawberry Shortcake and also all the 90s Batman stuff.
Really? I know that one.
Yeah, the ATST he made. Yeah, he's really cool. But we have a bunch of the different designers. But the reason why I bring up Ron Rudat is because you were talking about the G.I. Joes.
Right.
And we always do custom exclusive figures.
Oh, I've seen some of like the Boba Fett you'll have was dope.
Yeah, we have this year we have the it's a Reservoir Dogs / Imperial theme. So it's called the Imperial Dogs. And it's Boba Fett, a Stormtrooper, and Darth Vader as Mr. Pink, Mr. Black, and Mr. White.
Solid.
And they're very, very nice. But also we're doing you can only purchase it on site. And it's for a pre-order, and we'll have a prototype there. And Ron Rudat, since he's been coming for so long, I called him and I was like, hey, Ron, man, I don't know if this is okay to even ask, but I'm going to ask because we're buddies. And I said, since you made every single G.I. Joe figure, you think you could design one for our convention?
Oh, wow.
And he goes, yeah, absolutely. 2.5 weeks later, I have the Praetorian cohort picture, which is
where do we find that at? Where do we
go on to the oh shoot, can I send it to you or something?
Yeah, I could blast it off.
Here, I'll send it to you on Facebook Messenger, and then
send it to me now.
It's just very newly released. But what he did is here, you go ahead and talk for a second, and I'll find it.
Very good. We're going to show y'all a really cool exclusive photo here that Mike's going to send us.
There you go.
So we got here.
I just sent it through to you. So here, I'll send you the clean one as well. You're just putting it up on the feed. But that's the Praetorian cohort, and Ron Rudat drew that. So what we have done is we have designed a figure off of that.
There it is.
So that figure right there will be available, and it will be in the articulation and the design of an original G.I. Joe.
Really?
So it has an O-ring in there. The arms and legs move the same way. So it is the most recent actual true G.I. Joe in the history of the world.
It's going to be carded by Ron Rudat. Card back?
It's what? Yeah,
nice.
It's carded. It's got a here. You know what, dude? Let me, because you're a nice guy and I like you. I'm going to release it here right now. You're going to see it first ever.
Everybody, it's first time ever.
This is the first time ever, complete exclusive here. But yeah, I just sent you the 2 pictures. But that is it on a card, and that's what will be sold. But we like to do things that are real collectibles and are really rare. That's actually ours. That's made. That's crazy, right?
Crazy cool. It comes with like accessories and stuff. That's awesome, man.
Oh yeah, he has. I think it's an AK and a something else, and he's got a little jetpack.
Little jetpack. It looks like.
Yeah, but that's the prototype of the Praetorian cohort, and we always like to our convention exclusives.
Yeah.
They aren't like other conventions, and believe me, I'm not trying to bang up on anybody at all. But if you're unaware, for Funko Pops, you need to order 60,000 minimum. So when they do a convention exclusive Funko Pop, that's why you see them in KB or EB Games and Hot Topic the next day.
Yeah,
is because they have 60,000. Yeah. We have 100 of this and only 50 of each of the Imperial Dogs figures. Here, I'll send you a picture of the Imperial Dogs figures while I'm at it.
So they're super limited edition awesomeness.
Super limited edition. Our lightsabers, we do lightsabers every year. Yes. And I think we have only 25 lightsabers we're doing this year.
Oh, wow.
So we try to make them extremely rare on their own. But yeah, there they are, and they're in the style of the.
Yeah, those are awesome. Solid.
I sent you a carded one too, I think. Yeah. But they're in the style of the Reservoir Dogs.
Okay.
And Star Wars mashup kind of deal.
Very cool.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go.
Oh, there's the carded one there. Yeah. Mr. Pink. Every dog has his. That's awesome, man.
Yeah. But that's what we like to do because we're collectors. That's where the fan base is. That's what we are. So you'll see a lot of things like this that you won't find anywhere else, and it's because it takes years and very talented people to make things like this. Sure. It's not something that can just be knocked out. It's not something that can be digitally designed corporately and pumped out. They have to be handmade, and they're handmade in America. And that's what we try to do with our exclusives is make them true exclusives. Yeah. So yeah, man, you got to grab that Praetorian cohort. He's pretty cool.
Got to get the Praetorian cohort and all the Imperial Dogs goodness. I want to ask one more question. The fans want to know.
Yeah.
It's kind of a flip of the coin question.
Anything at all.
If you could have any Star Wars collectible item that you do not already have, what would that be?
It's stupid.
Pretty big question.
Okay. In Argentina, 45 years ago, they came out with a promotion with Doriana margarine. They're Doriana margarine containers. Yeah, butter. So it's an empty butter container. And I need 14 of them. Actually, I only need 12 of them. I've been trying to collect them for 5 years now. They're very, very expensive and very, very hard to find. But they had 14 different Star Wars characters on them. So yes, that is what I am desperately after, and I pay ungodly amounts of money for.
Which ones do you have?
I have Wicket and R2-D2 so far. Okay. The thing is I did get I bought a original advertisement of it. And it says there are 14 to collect.
So you need 12 more.
I need 12 more, and I'm not sure what they are. I've only seen a C-3PO, but they wanted $5,000 for the container, and I thought that was a little bit too much.
That's crazy.
Yeah, for garbage. You know what I mean?
But they're really rare, so it's like
extremely rare. Yes. But I don't know. See, the thing is, man, I don't want to kick the bucket and then like leave my poor wife with like a bunch of margarine containers to sell because there's a very limited market for them.
Wow. Well, that's another question. I kind of parlayed into kind of another topic. I just came off the top of my head.
Yeah.
You've done a lot of charity work in the past. Is there anything that you, maybe not this year or next year, you would like to parlay maybe into the event, like a charity raffle or something you maybe been thinking about doing this year or next? Or
Did we talk about this?
No, I don't think so. No.
This is insane, dude. Okay. Like you're a mind reader or a genie or something. But all right.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
So what's going on is, yes, I am starting IC for Life charity. It'll be icforlifecharity.org. Eventually, it's password protected right now. But we have submitted for our federally licensed 501(c) nonprofit organization. And we submitted 6 months ago. Okay. And I am currently like in the last stages. So I'm praying it happens before the con. If it doesn't, that's okay. But anyway, on the con schedule,
please.
Right? Please. But on the con schedule, there is a section where we are going to do a live auction. And since I'm going to be the one live auctioning and stuff, I don't really care if I get a tax write-off. So even if it's not implemented yet, we can still do the auction. And that will be to raise money for the growth of this community eventually, and also to provide a certain kind of service. Now, what this service is, it's very different. And I've been thinking about it getting older. And also, I run so many Facebook groups. You know how it is. If you run the page, when someone passes on, when someone passes on, you tend to be the first or second person to get told. So what I was thinking is there was never really any way to help short of like doing a charity, whatever, or trying to send some money through Kickstarter or whatever you do. And so I was thinking about it. And what usually happens is if a collector passes on, their family members don't tend to know what they have. So they throw it on eBay. They get maybe 10% of the value of all the items, or they sell it on Marketplace, or they throw it out. And that money doesn't really do anything. And that person's collection gets gutted and thrown everywhere.
Spread across the universe, right?
Yeah. Instead, we're going to do in memoriam auctions. So if you buy the membership to the charity, which all that money will go to the charity to build things like IC Roadshow or meetups or help build the con or do one of these fun events that we do all the time. Essentially, the entire charity is to replace me if I ever pass away. Because like somebody really has to have the pocket with the really heavy metal credit cards to make these things happen.
Like one of those cards you have to have $100,000 a year, infinite bite only has, whatever.
Not being that guy, but yes, if you
we hope you're around for 100 more million years, man. We don't want you to go now, dude.
Well, no, I'm not going anywhere. Don't worry. But that's why I'm putting it all in the process. Just to leave
a legacy behind for future awesomeness.
Exactly, because I don't want this to go away when I go away, if that ever happens. You know what I mean? It's something that's really needed. We need to have something that not fights the corporate cons, but gives people an escape where it is not just your pocket is getting vacuumed of cash for 4 days. You know what I mean?
I love the philanthropic aspect of that. We've actually...
man, you want to go outside and eat a ham sandwich that you brought from home for lunch? Go ahead. I understand. You know, when we went to Great Adventure when I was a little kid, we'd leave the park and go eat the lunch in the cooler in the car.
On a $45 burger from some whatever,
exactly. So that's why, since we don't stop that, we want to encourage that. But it does require somebody to lose money on it, and I don't mind losing the money on it. I've been blessed, and I'm lucky enough to have really great jobs that pay my bills. But somebody has to lose money on it in the future. You know what I mean? Like 30 years from now or whatever, or 50 years, 100 years from now, if I kick the bucket, somebody still has to be in place to pay those bills or else it'll die. And that will be what this charity does. Now, when those people give their $20 a month, okay, it will, when they pass, it will have us contact their family. They'll have a next of kin listed when they sign up. And we will contact them and we will say, hey, we're from the Imperial Commissary. We were contracted to do a live sale, an in memoriam sale for your significant other's collection. And it could be Star Wars, G.I. Joe, whatever, vintage toys. And we'll use our access and our connections to spread it out properly and get the top dollar for your family. And then on the back end, for less than the cost it would cost to sell on eBay, we have them donate the amount for fees, which will be less than eBay. And so that way they're getting top dollar. Then they get a tax-deductible donation on the back end, and that tax-deductible donation goes into the bucket, which will eventually be my credit cards. Well, not mine, but the convention's credit cards.
Legacies of awesomeness.
Exactly. And then maybe in a perfect magical world, some of the poor leadership team that has been paying out of their pocket all these years can get a free hotel room or maybe a flight. God forbid they get a free flight. And that will increase the amount of money the family gets. It'll decrease the cost of the fees and the PayPals and the shipping and this, that, and the other.
Charge massive fees on some of that stuff. So, 5%.
Exactly. And also, and in the memoriam sale, not to put a dark turn on it, but everybody in the community is more than happy to pay a little bit extra for an item when it's going to the family. And that will increase the amount your family gets after your passing, because we all know they're going to run into that Doriana margarine top and they're going to sell it for 50 cents when it's worth $1,000. And that will stop that. And it'll get these collections into other collectors' hands. And it will also build the thing that we all love. So that way, when my time comes, It's still there and will continue on with a board of directors and people to run it and blah, 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 blah. So that's the plan, man. Yes, it's IC for Life charity. There'll be tons of announcements about it, tons of information about it.
You heard it here first, everybody.
Yeah, you did hear it. That's because for some reason Owen just reads my mind or something. That's crazy, man.
Like Lobot. I just figured Lobot with that head thing. I was like,
yeah, dude, I was literally down at the government building yesterday, like filling out a form, and they needed $20 for the change. Like we're that close. So it's crazy because I haven't told anybody, dude. So I was like, how do you know? Did I tell you what's going on?
I didn't know anything about it. That's absolutely awesome that you're doing something like this. That's
Thanks,
fantastic.
man.
Yeah, we've been talking about doing something philanthropic in the future. Not exactly sure how we're going to do it. We've been networking with a lot of people. Man. Yeah, we'd love to. Yeah, we've been trying to figure out the right niche to use because we're all sci-fi in this platform. So do something maybe like, I don't know, like I was talking with some people and I would love to have like maybe something for advocacy for literature awareness, literary awareness for like children and adults, and maybe get LeVar Burton or somebody to promote that. I don't know. And, there's other different topics like, autism awareness, mental health. There's just tons, but I know Greg Grunberg, he has a charity podcast. I believe his son has epilepsy. So I thought that was really cool. And he told me that.
Oh, gee, yeah.
There's a lot of cool stuff, but it'd be kind of cool to have maybe a charity benefit. We have some of these rock and roll bands play, raise a whole bunch of money. I think in a year, so they're saying, 1 year. 1 year, just saying that in 11 months, we're going to be doing an event with live music. And a big one, last one we did was with Billy Strings, the musician, a whole bunch of other awesome people. And I was talking with the guest before you came on was Jason Charles Miller. He's done a lot of voice acting. He wants to work in Star Wars voice. He's done Star Trek. He hadn't done Star Wars. He's a huge geek. He said he might come on board. I'm really excited about that. And we've got a whole bunch of other lineup. He's done he remixed Brett Michaels' song for Rock of Love.
Nice.
Yeah, we actually got to introduce him back in the day. Me and my buddy. He's you ever heard of Coast to Coast AM with George Norrie?
Yes, actually, I have. Yeah,
he's the senior producer. Tom Danheiser, super cool cat, awesome dude.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he's a big sci-fi fan as well. So yeah, but we were just talking about ideas on that. But I'd love to work with you on this awesome project you got. That sounds absolutely amazing.
And if I can help in any way, man, I definitely know how to weed through the IRS forms by now.
Can't beat that, man. Well, right quick, everybody, where do they find out about the event? When is the event? And where's it held on?
Yeah, it's October 3rd through 6th at the Music City Sheridan, 777 McGavick Pike, Nashville, Tennessee. And you can check it out at icnashville.com. Mm-hmm. You can also follow along on Instagram, TikTok, everything that exists. It's ICCC. It's ICCC Nashville. So if you're searching for it on anything, YouTube, whatever, Facebook.
ICCC Nashville on Twitter.
Yep, ICCC Nashville. So 3 C's. Yeah.
Right. Well, Mike, I want to absolutely thank you. Go ahead.
And then ICCCon is the hashtag. If you type that in anywhere, you can see stuff that people have put up from past shows, like even Owen's videos.
That's right. Well, Mike, I want to absolutely thank you for joining us. I can't wait for the event coming up in October here, man.
Thanks for having me, man. I'm super excited about it.
No problem. May the force be with you always.